Is that all it is perspective? Oh, that's nice. Zoran Momdani won't say the name of Jesus for the Good Friday message. He says, we mark a day of sacrifice. Zoran Momdani, the father of New York City socialism. What do you think? Good, bad, ugly, middle of the road? Does he have a sister? What's going on here? Zoran Momdani? You know what it is? We need to watch some old movies. I want to watch Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. That is a fantastic... What's up, America? Thank you for being here. The movie Dragnet is a fantastic movie. What's up, America? With Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. What's up, Willie? Absolutely. What's up, America? Scott Fried. What's up, everybody? What's up? Is it Gatroot? Very nice. So we got a little bit of news to talk about. We got Donald Trump news. We have Iran news. What's up, Steph? What's up, Shay? We have regular news in America. It's Good Friday today. Just posted a video on Crap Talk on my archaeology page of about 1 million people at a worship service in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And Zoran Momdani refuses to say the name of Jesus. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Gatroot. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So what's up, America? How's everybody doing here? It is Good Friday. It is April 3rd, 2026. What's up, America? I am actually surprised that our country is still here and that we're still going. 2026, I thought I'd be dead by now. Frankly speaking, I figured I'd either be dead by now or that the planet would have incurred some type of pandemic that killed most people, or a nuclear holocaust would have occurred by now at some point. So I'm actually very proud of our society for not nuking itself. Unfortunately, we're still using currency, which is an issue, but we'll iron all that out as time passes. But it is Good Friday, and millions of people went to be worshipped. By the way, in the Philippines, they were crucifying themselves again. Like we saw when we were in Tennessee, the one guy had been crucified 34 times in his life, the most crucified man in the world, and he went back, but he declined the flogging this year. So I'm not sure if that's sacrilege or what it is, but good Lord, there it is. And that's what we're doing with Good Friday services. But we have a great deal of news to talk about because the United States of America is actually under attack. And today we lost 2 aircraft to Iranian missiles, and also, hell yeah, Steph, and also 2 helicopters were attacked. We now have 1 lone weapons officer, because the F-15 that was shot down was a 2-man F-15, not a 1-man. This was an F-15E, if I recall, that had a weapons officer and a pilot on board. That was splashed over the southern Iranian desert. 1 pilot has been recovered. The weapons officer is still out and about, and the Iranian government is looking to capture him so they can use him as meat leverage, basically. So also an A-10 Warthog was shot down over the Persian Gulf or whatever it was. He was rescued because even though, typical of an A-10 Warthog, even though it took a missile, it still continued to fly. If you don't know anything about an A-10 Warthog, apparently the Iranians didn't know this, you can shoot it with a tank cannon and it will continue to fly. That's what it does. And there have been many instances where it's lost most of a wing. What's up, America? Where it's lost a whole engine and tail section, yet somehow it makes it sputtering in. That's the A-10 Warthog. So that pilot was rescued almost instantly, but we have 1 more. We have total wounded, we have 365 men who have been wounded, men and women, and 15 to 20 dead, depending on what you look at there. Yes, I'm only doing lives here. Fuck TikTok. They can kiss the fattest part of my ass. I will put the videos up on my two pages over there, but they will not stop the scam accounts. They will not stop the horrible restrictions on live streams. You say, hey, what's up, America? Instant restriction. So it's like, nope, sorry, fuck TikTok. This is where we go now because YouTube is better. You hear that, YouTube? You're better. Yes, that's correct. What's up, me? YouTube is simply, mwah. They are the fucking spicy meatball. They are the pizza town at 46th and 6th in New York City. They are the donut hub or donut pub on Broadway that has the most amazing passion fruit donuts, and you will never find better. I don't care where the fuck you're at. But that's what YouTube is better. TikTok is an ass-sucking trilobite as far as the live streaming are concerned. Anyway, what's up, Mink? How's everybody doing? So, U.S. forces are in a race against time to save a missing fighter jet pilot whose aircraft was shot down by Iranian air defenses in the early days of fighting today. After a second American aircraft, an A-10 Warthog, like I said, was already down. So we had an A-10 Warthog that was splashed, and we had an F-15 Strike Eagle that was splashed. Iranian state media shows footage on Friday appearing to show an A-10 Warthog being blown out of the sky, and reports say a second U.S. aircraft, an F-15E. Oh, hello, Mercy. Well, that's fancy, SpongeBob. I love you. Firmly grasp it in your hand. Firmly grasp it. Firmly grasp it. Anyway, the joint incident led two pilots to eject over enemy territory. The F-15E remains unaccounted for after U.S. forces successfully saved the A-10 pilot in a daring rescue. So the pilot of the F-15 is still missing. U.S. forces are now desperately searching behind enemy lines to retrieve the missing pilot. By the way, there was footage up here. Thank you, Steph, that I have not put up here yet, and the footage I will put up on our YouTube later shows not only the A-10 being shot down, but also IRGC fighters shooting at the rescue planes that are in Iran, so it's a absolute mess over there at this point. Following reports that two U.S. aircraft were shot down, Donald Trump was briefed on relief efforts. A senior administration official told the London Daily Mail that the president's national security team has gathered at the White House, and the president has been working all day from the Oval Office or the Oval Office's dining room. I don't care why that fucking matters exactly. What's up, Nana? Hell yeah! In a brief phone interview, Donald Trump declined to discuss details of the search and rescue operation and insisted that it would not affect ongoing negotiations with Iran. So apparently Donald Trump does not care. When asked about it by NBC News reporter Garrett Hack, yeah, no shit if he works for NBC, whether the plane incident could be in negotiations with Trump, Trump responded, not at all. It's war. We're in war. But negotiations can still take place. So that's looking like what we're doing with Donald Trump. It marked day 35 of the conflict. And this is the first time that an American jet has been down by enemy fire. Initially, they stated that this was a F-35 that was shot down, but it was not. Newsmax also reported about a day. Hell yes. Meanwhile, Newsmax reported the U.S. Black Hawk helicopter was hit by enemy fire while conducting rescue operations for the pilots. The crew is reportedly accounted for and uninjured. You can see that footage on Twitter where you can see them shooting at it. I'll try to post it on here on YouTube and X. I've got a lot of videos to put up here on YouTube that I have not. I've put 3 or 4 up today. Oh my God, that's strong. There you go, honey. Fuck! Don't break the cipher! What's up, Dirk? Sorry. So the F-15 pilot is still unaccounted for. One was rescued. The A-10 pilot was rescued. An A-10 Warthog crashed in the Persian Gulf after it was hit by a missile. Like I said, it was an A-10, however, so it can take a tank shell, and it basically did. Iran state media urged civilians to capture the pilot of the Strike Eagle, and a reward was offered by the IRGC. Oh, hell yeah, Ruski. Thank you. Hell, I'm glad you're here. What's up, Marine? So it's looking like that we're missing a man behind enemy lines in southern Iran, and the Iranian government has given a reward out to capture this guy and fucking have him turned in so they can use him as human leverage or execute him publicly. So we need to do everything we can. I know we're here and we're not in Iran right now, but something needs to be done to get this fucking pilot, either him alive or his body, out of fucking Iran. This was today. Early this morning, we had 2 aircraft that were down, an F-15E and an A-10 Warthog. The A-10 took a missile to the back. Once again, it did not splash the aircraft because it was an A-10, so it did a nice nimble landing down in the Persian Gulf. He was rescued. And then the F-15, of course, those are a little lighter, if you know what I mean. That took a missile and they ejected. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has armor, exactly. The F-15 does not have the armor, though. It's a fast, nimble deal. It's not meant for taking out tanks like this fucking thing. So it took an S-400 or something like that, and the crew ejected. Now, there's been some confusion on whether it was a 1 or a 2-man crew F-15. As you know, most F-15s are 1-man crew, but there are a couple of modifications. Yeah, we're flying F-15s, I know. I was surprised just as much as you were. I was like, what the fuck do those have to do? Initially, they said they took out an F-35, and I was like, no, they can't even see them, so what the fuck is that? Well, it turns out it was an F-15 Strike Eagle, but I don't know if it, to this day, if it was a 2-man crew or a 1-man crew. Would the crew... Yeah, I would assume they would land close to each other. I've only seen an image of one ejector seat. Could be if it's a 1-man crew, he ejected and he's still on the run. If it's a 2-man crew, because I think there's a couple forms of F-15s that are 2-man. I think most of them are 1-man, but I think you have one with a pilot and one with a weapons officer on some of them, if I recall. A-10s are one-man shows. Are A-10 1-man shows, or do they have the 2-man? I think they're 1-man situations. And then the F-35 are... Yeah, I can't remember. I love the A-10. Thank you, Nana. Yeah, I love the A-10. One of the best aircraft. You can drag me away. It was a 2-man? Okay. So we're missing, either way, thank you, Nana. We're missing a man out in the southern Iranian desert. The United States military and Israel reported that missing airman is likely sent out his emergency location to the rescue team. More than likely, but that also can be intercepted by Iranian forces. So if that's the case and they're looking for ping situations like that, it might be a matter of time as to who gets to this bloke first. Or Sheila, whoever it is. What's up, America? So we'll see what happens with that. We've got quite the offering. Yeah, they're offering a reward because they want to use him as a hostage. And if they use him as a hostage, they know that they can trade like 1,000 men, because this is what Hamas does. This is what the Palestinians do, is they'll take hostages and then they'll say, we'll give them back if you release 500 men. And our governments have been like, oh, sure, yeah. And they've been doing that for fucking years. Yeah, or they couldn't eject. That's another thing. The fact that only one ejector seat has been recovered, if it's a 2-man crew and there's only one ejector seat with people that saw it go down and they're in the area, that's a bad sign. Not everybody ejects, not all of it works, and some people die during ejection. The ejection is most people don't, but every now and again that ejection is very powerful. It can fucking kill a man. But it's an emergency thing. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he or she will be alive coming up here, because we have 365 wounded and about 15 to 20 dead so far, which it's not great. You know what I mean? What's the exact area? They went down in southern Iran. So the A-10 went down off the coast near the Persian Gulf. Not the Straits of Hormuz, still in the Persian Gulf, kind of on the edge. If I recall, and the F-15 is over land somewhere. So that's the issue. And the F-15, I don't have an exact location on them, which is unfortunate. Now, I'm almost positive there's some way, yeah. The A-10 didn't get splashed. It got hit by a missile and it lumbered down. Yeah, it's designed for one pilot. Okay, so thank you, Scotty. So the A-10 got hit, and you can see the video. It got boom and hit with the missile, and then it fucking made its way down. I don't think you can take an A-10 out with a missile. I think you'd have to have an act of God to take an A-10 out. One of those type of things. Oh, the Walden. Ooh, I like the Walden. Well, I like the Walden. Well, I didn't say where. But I like the Walden Hotel. Anyway, but yes, sorry. Well, I love you. I didn't say you were.
I know you did.
Okay.
I couldn't remember what it was for.
I couldn't, yeah.
I wanted to go find out. And I transferred it over the day before the $610 cleared, so I wanted to transfer it over the day before.
Well, I'm glad we stayed at that hotel.
Yes.
That's my answer. Okay, so warning. So yeah, we got Motel 6 money. No shit. So as far as the war in Iran is concerned, we're going to be ramping up. President Donald Trump said that. As of today, we have we have 2 U.S. aircraft down, 1 crew rescued, search for a second, 2 Black Hawk helicopters hit by fire from the ground by the IRGC. Updates as of now, and the Battle of Karg Island is about to commence. As far as we know, floating hospital. So listen to this. Trump's forced to land in Iran. We have a hospital ship, hovercrafts, drones, and lasers ready to go. So warships the size of football fields with hospitals. Dairy Queen ads popping up. And drones with lasers have been deployed as Donald Trump gears up to seize Iran's key island, Karg Island, described as the crown jewel of oil for Iran. Thousands of Marines have been arriving in the war-torn region as the U.S. president mulls whether to unleash a ground invasion. Obviously, that'll happen. U.S. Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit have been conducting simulated reconnaissance and surveillance missions, initially at Diego Garcia before they landed over in the Middle East. Now, obviously, if you know where Diego Garcia is, that is a military base. Well, it's an Air Force military base out in the Indian Ocean. And initially they were training on island capture. So we know what they're doing. That was the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit. We've got 2 other expeditionary units that are in the region, and the 82nd Airborne is headed that way from what I understand. We are really gearing up with some of the best of the best. The Raiders are there. The Marine Raiders are there. The Special Forces. Everybody on top is in the region, I'll tell you that. Anyway, Karg Island is described as Iran's lifeline of finances. The Daily Sun, the U.S. Sun, told how plans have been drawn up for Trump's 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit to storm Karg Island, the fortress, and unlock the Straits of Hormuz. But now the Pentagon has given its clearest sign of invasion intentions with ordering prefabricated bunkers for island occupation. Prefabricated bunkers are in the region, so that means one thing. Trump has had his crosshairs firmly set on Iran's main oil terminal of Karg Island, where 95% of the oil of Iran comes from. He last week hinted that he could be on the precipice of unleashing a crack squad of Marines, saying, "I'm considering taking Karg Island." Other small islands with outsized importance under Tehran's control also have a red ring around them as seizing them would break the regime's stronghold on the Straits of Hormuz. So, if you have a map, I don't have a map as a background, but the Persian Gulf is like this, okay? All our friends are here and Iran is here. And Kuwait's up here. So Karg Island is here, right? And then down here in Iran, where it curves, there's like 8 other little islands. All of those are in play. This little string of islands here and Karg Island. Those are oil depots, ports, harbors, airports, listening stations, forward warning stations and locations, radar communication, launching medium and short range munitions from there into the Straits of Hormuz, like medium and short range missiles, artillery, drone attacks, etc., etc. Share them out to, hell yeah. Thank you, Nana. And so that's basically what that is there. And so there's a strategic importance to taking these islands. Obviously, if you just go balls deep into the mainland of Iran, you're going to be doing a Normandy situation. We're not trying to do a Normandy situation. We're not trying to send 12,000 men on the beach running into machine gun fire. We don't want there to be any machine gun fire on the beach left. We want all that shit blown up, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Fuck you. It's on like Donkey Kong. You don't exist. Pillbox is gone. Artillery gone. Mortar teams gone. Fucking barbed wire mines. All that stupid horse shit. Fuck you. Gone. What's up, Mabel Cat? That's what we're looking for. Pathway channels to come in. Carpet bombing pathways. We're beyond that type of shit. Yeah, other countries helping Iran. Yes, absolutely. Iraq has proxies that are helping Iran, even though they're not technically. Yemen, they're getting weapons from Iran. China and Russia are sending. Yeah, it says it Normandy, exactly. China and Russia are sending drones and rockets and S-400s, which are anti-aircraft weapons. So, the big players here are China and Russia. One of the most important things to do, not only destroying Iran's ability to make war, but also cutting off the supply coming from Russia and China. Now, if you want to cut off the supply coming from Russia and China, you'll have to bomb airports. You'll have to bomb roadways at the borders, blow giant sections of it, railway, all that type of shit. Any bridges or rail coming from China, any Chinese direction or any Russian territorial, you have to blow all that up. So if you have rails going out of the country, you got to blow those up for quite a distance, so they can't just repair them real quick. Yeah, the thing is about China is China has a bunch of garbage for weapons. And so, like, the borders of Iran, like, you're going to have Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Azerbaijan, and Georgia, along with Turkey, Iraq, and I think Kuwait's, like, right in that area. Yeah, actually it is. So, Afghanistan is a war-torn shithole with no actual border controls. And they're in a war with Pakistan currently. So, Afghanistan is kind of a gray area when it comes to weapons shipments. Mainly that would be coming through Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Turkmenistan is on the northern border of Iran. Believe me when I tell you, Turkmenistan does not give a fuck. Turkmenistan will allow the Russians to send weapons through Kazakhstan directly. They don't give a fuck. Come on through, boys. Send over truckloads. They don't give a fuck if they could drive a nuclear weapon. You could drive a fucking nuclear weapon on tracks. You know, like the Russians have on the tires, the big ICBMs. You could drive one right into Iran, and Turkmenistan would not give a shit. Same with Kazakhstan. Those are Russian plebiscite states. Those are still influenced by Russia. Azerbaijan is another region. They would allow it through. I don't care if they made peace with Trump. Azerbaijan will send weapons through for Russia, absolutely. And then all you have to do is send Chinese weapons going through Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. All that's wide open. It's dense mountain passes and territory. Not everything can be. Not everything can be. How do you put this? Surveilled by the United States. You have the gate off. So.
She had do you set up for different levels or?
Yeah, I guess I do. Maybe I have to add them. I don't know how it works. I might have to add them. But in Iran, you basically have 3 points of supply. You have the northwest. Thank you, Mabel Cat. In Iran, you have the northwest of Iran, which is Azerbaijan, and that's a very difficult point, especially we're trying to make peace with Armenia, so we're kind of, shotgun shy over there. Turkmenistan is a wide open country on the Caspian Sea. All right, when I mean wide open, you have the Iranian border, you have the capital city of Ashgabat, which is on the border of Iran. Basically, thank you, Nana. And then you have nothing for 260 miles until you get to Uzbekistan or the southwestern part of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is where Russia launches its astronauts from. So these people are all nice and cozy with each other. So the Russian drones will be coming through Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, into northern Iran, or they'll be coming through Afghanistan, and there will be no stopping it. So you have to destroy the roads that are the roads and rail leading in and out of Iran. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jesus, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you have 17 or 18. What's up, mate? What's up, America? How you doing, Truth? So you have 17 or 18 roads leading out of Iran, northern and eastern Iran. So you'd have to blow all those up for half a mile all the way down it. And then in northwestern Iran, you have 8 to 10. You have almost as many because it's more densely populated, also going into Iraq. So you'd have to cut off their road and rail systems. You can monitor the western desert, but the rest would have to be blown up. If you want to take over Tehran and you want to take them out, you have to cut off the city of Tehran. Iran has several cities that you need to know about. Tehran is the largest, by the way. So we're going to do a quick little go-ahead with Iran. Tehran is the largest city in Iran, followed by Isfahan, I believe that is. Maybe it's not the second biggest city. I'm not sure on the population side. The city of Isfahan is where the nuclear plants were, and that's taken a big hit. Tehran also, these are where people were also taken prisoner and executed. The city of Tabriz is in northwestern Iran. I would suggest occupying the fuck out of that. The reason is because Tabriz is on a roadway system. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different highways that go in and out of Tabriz. That'll cut off most of northern Iran until you can take over Tehran. You also have the city of Isfahan, which is so if you're on the very bottom part of Iran, if you go up through the coastal desert, right in the center, you start with the city of Shiraz, which is funny because wine's not legal there, if I recall, because of Islam. But the city of Shiraz is a southern city, but not on the coast. Then you have Isfahan and also Tehran. That's a direct path through all three. Out east, you have the city of Mashhad. Now, those are going to be your major choke points. Why we are at war with Iran. The initial, what do they call that? Reason we were at war with Iran is to save people being executed by the government. That's the official narrative. The spoils of war that will be gained off of this, however, are absolutely substantial. So if the United States does fully take out Iran, fucks them over, destroys the country, regime change, what we gain is so exponentially insane. Oh, dude, there is so much archaeology. Yeah, absolutely. I need to put more videos up on archaeology in Iran. What's up, Ruthie? Because there's so much out there. But the thing is with Iran is if you take over Iran and you have a friendly, because we don't want to occupy it, right? That's like occupying, the South, right? Occupying Iran would be like occupying the South. We don't want to do that. That's an impossible task. We already learned with Iraq, which is half or less than half its size. What we want to do is take out their government, basically shoehorn the Islamic rule out of Iran and return it to a secular rule, right? And so why is that okay? The reason it was justified was the murder of 45,000 civilians and the killing or the injuring of 350,000 innocent people. And then some people say, well, what about Gaza? Why didn't we do anything there? Because in 2 weeks, Iran killed more people than Israel did in Gaza in 9 months. So the scale of the murder was a genocide, or it was going to head that way. Well, what about Gaza? Well, we kind of know where that headed, right? But this particular case is the population's 90 million. They had approximately 4 to 6 million that protested. Most of these people were on camera. They had facial recognition, that they were using computers. They were coming to their homes. They were taking their families. Like right now, there's 12-year-old soldiers on the streets that are guarding against protesters. That's how sick this shit is. We're like heading towards Robert Mugabe, fucking Idi Amin, fucking Charles Taylor type of shit, Pol Pot, where because we've blown up all their senior leadership, and so they're basically taking the mid-level leadership that's alive, we're promoting them higher, and then the younger ones that are in these IRGC like youth corps, kind of like the Hitler Youth, they're putting them up and then they're putting them in active duty now. These people, imagine if you were 13 and you were put into active combat. You would be fucking terrified. You would be uncontrollable. You wouldn't have the discipline not to shoot civilians. These people clearly don't, and they install that murdering them is actually a good thing. Yeah, and so it's really the one thing I can say right now is thank God you don't have mercenary groups on the ground. I mean, maybe on their side you do, but us, we don't have mercs in there. If you had mercs in there, it would be a whole fucking diarrhea right now. It would be overflowing toilets of fuckadoo is what that is. So, because the mercs would just fucking light everybody up like they did in Iraq. It would cause horror. So you don't want to piss the people off. So what you want to do is you want to corner the cities, cut them off from each other and from the rest of the world. And then what you want to do is you want to blow up the military and IRGC in these corralled city areas, if possible, until the people can rise up. If you have to use an internal force, some say the Mossad. Well, most people are like, well, the Mossad, they're everywhere. You know my position on the Mossad. I don't believe they're everywhere. But in Iran, in this case, they're fucking everywhere. This is where the Mossad would operate. So if you want to say, well, there's an errant Mossad here in America occasionally or in Western Europe, but like this is the Mossad playground right here is Iran, right? We're talking sabotage. We are talking infiltration. We are talking, double agent, triple agent bullshit. We are talking black hat out the ass. We are talking embedded. We're painting targets behind enemy lines, every fucking thing. People that are civilians living over there that have ties to Mossad. This is where they're operating. So most of the information on the leadership that we've killed in Iran came from either infiltrated spy networks or Mossad spies that were in the government of Iran itself. Yeah, absolutely. And so you would have like maybe maybe there's a couple of elected leaders that are Mossad agents that got elected that are in parliament up close that are literally death to America, death to America, and then wiring back to Israel. These fuckfaces are meeting at this time and then like sending it over to sound like a Billy Joel album that's being transferred online, and when you decrypt it, it's got a whole thing about where they are and what times they're moving in. Absolutely, yeah, this is what they do. And so when we attacked Iran initially, it's called a decapitation attack. So we took about 50 of the highest government members and we destroyed all of them, killed all of them. Eyes both planes right now working. Hell yes, please do, Dirk. We need it, man. There's at least one out there all by himself. And I don't know. The only thing I can say is I would assume, and I'm not 100% sure on this, if he was with the A-10, he's going to be out somewhere adjacent to Karg Island, maybe 30 miles in, somewhere in a 100-mile radius of Shiraz, maybe. If he was down south, he's going to be in that desert down there. And that is a no man's land. That is, there's a place called the Hava and Tanjkor Protected Area. So anything, that area, west and northwest, there's one single road that goes off for one single highway, two minor roads, dirt paths that go through there. Yeah, no, you're good. Absolutely. I don't, yeah, no. We zip it up. We zip it up around here. Absolutely. But that's what we have going on down there. So, but what happens after we take Iran? And you say this works out. Let's say this works out. If this works out, you gain 90 million people not under threat of Sharia law. You gain 90 million people potentially not under the threat of execution. You gain women's liberation in an area that has been occupied by Islam for centuries, okay? So this is like shoving a boot up the ass of Sharia law. Because you will have Zoroastrianism or whatever it is. You'll have Christianity. Lots of people have come to Jesus in Iran already. You'll have Islam as well, but women will go back to being able to wear what they want, study at university more, blah, 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 drive all this shit. You won't have to have stonings, punishment, rapes, and all this other bullshit that they've been doing. And then also that's just on the social end. On the military end, you gain military access because we're going to force that. If you want our help, you will give us military access, not military control, military access to your bases. That means that we're going to have military bases possibly right near the border of Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Russia will be directly threatened from two fronts, both across Azerbaijan and also the Turkmen-Kazakh border region. Russia, it'll be putting a boot up Russia's ass. So Europe has been saying we're not trying to help Russia or help Ukraine, blah blah blah. Well, that's a stalemate. That's ridiculous. That's a meat grinder. You've got yourself in a war of attrition out on absolutely, Marine. You got yourself in a war of attrition out in Ukraine. That's psychotic. Well, you're going to throw 30,000 men into 50,000 men into 70,000 men into 100,000 men. That's what you're doing. and it's not going to work out. You're going to have fucking 10 feet a day difference. I thought we learned in World War I that's not how to do this. Right? You don't do trench warfare. What the fuck? That's stupid. What are we doing here? Anyway, but we would directly be able to threaten Russia and the big one, Western China. So if you have military bases or military access, so we're landing KC-135s in Iran. We're landing B-52s in Iran. We're landing B-1s, B-2s. We're landing fighter aircraft. You literally can threaten, with our fighters alone, you could probably make it across the entire Western Chinese desert. The other, we have F-35s. We could go into central China. Same with our B-52s, so we can attack China from two fronts, right? So you have China bitten on the ass end in the west there, but then we also have Japan and South Korea and the Philippines as an ally. So China wants to take Taiwan, correct? China wants to take Taiwan. They're not going to take Taiwan if they're threatened on a dual front conflict. You can't win a war on two fronts most cases. Everybody knows that. It was an F-15, was a F-15 5E? That makes sense as to what. Was it one of the radar? Was it one of the jamming ones? You know, the drone ones? Is that what that was? Was the drone ones? Because I know they were using older aircraft for some of that. I know, here I am 44. It's an older aircraft. To me, it just came out 6 months ago. Like the F-35 and F-20, that's like space pants to me at this point. You know what I'm saying? That shit is like, you got a fucking F-35. I mean, I don't even know how to. What I think the test said the F-35 took out either, it was a dozen F-16s or F-18s. I can't remember what it was. And it had them splashed, every one of them, before they came onto radar. So before the F-15s, F-16s, whichever aircraft they were fighting against, I can't remember in the training they did, the F-35 had all of them splashed, all dozen of them, before they were able to get into radar contact. And I was like, oh my fucking God. No, we're not even close. This is going to get ginormous. And I would advise Trump to, if you've got to stop the flow of weapons coming from China and Russia. Right, so you got to hit the airports, the railways, and the roads. All the airports that have a capability of, 5,000 feet or more, 3,500 feet, I think, of a runway, and every road and a rail going in and out of the border regions of the nation. So you need to cut them off all the way around, pinch them off there because it's not also about, you also have Caspian Sea supply also. So that's a tough one right there because you can also send weapons through the Caspian Sea directly from Kazakhstan. So, oh, absolutely. No, we're not fucked at all. The Iranian, so here's the thing. No, sir. You don't think so? So here's the thing about Iran. The United States can do this. It's, do you want to? Right? This is like what we're doing here. Like, it is no problem to take out Iran's entire government and forcibly replace it with a civilian government. I'm not even talking about blowing these people up and then letting a new successor coming in. I'm talking everybody above a fucking major being taken prisoner or killed, right? And then forcing a ground revolution, which we could do. We've done it before. But I don't think anybody wants to put the effort into it. Because it's a messy, like that whole thing is years. Right? You're looking at, we have to decapitate all the military brass for the most part. And we have to decapitate the government, which we've done a good deal of. But that includes the entire parliament and all this other shit. That includes taking out civilian infrastructure. That includes taking out power supply. It's a real bad thing. It includes full invasion, 500,000 men initially, another 500,000 probably reinforcements, Obviously, you're not going to occupy every area. There's going to be fucking factions forming. You don't want to do that. It's a bad thing. You want a broad civilian uprising is what you're looking for. And you say, well, okay, so how does this help the United States? Well, it helps the United States because it puts us in an offensive position against our enemies, multiple, so Russia and China, so this direction. So we gain a wedge, a new foothold in the game of risk, basically. It gives us access to rare earth minerals and oil and other resources, and also business from Iran, bringing products here, international trade that you can't get. That'll ramp up fairly quickly within about a year or so after it's all taken out, which I don't have a problem with international trade with Iran whatsoever. The bigger thing is if you do that, the entire Persian Gulf becomes friendly, right? That's the big difference here. The United States does not get oil from Iran, but the entire Persian Gulf becomes friendly all of a sudden. The only place that you have to worry about is now Yemen and Somalia. Now, Yemen is in a civil war situation in itself. Yemen's broke up between 3 or 4 different factions. One, the Yemeni Houthi that control the far western part of Yemen. They control the city of Sana'a and other major cities, the more populated regions. The problem is with the Houthis is they're entirely propped up by the Iranian government, and they don't feed their people. They regularly starve people to death so they can buy weapons to kill Israel, because they're fucking propped up by Iran. Yemen is basically been held hostage by Iran and said, we're going to use your infrastructure and supplies and all this other shit and people as our proxy to kill Jews, basically. Right? That's their whole spiel. So the Houthis in Yemen, they have no desire to build a better government, fix better roads, send kids to school, feed the poor. No, they want to kill. They don't give a fuck about you. Right? Their only objective is to murder Jews. That's their only objective. That's why they're there. It would be like if an odd faction took over the state of South Carolina and said, we're only here to blow up Virginia. And everybody's like, well, we're starving to death. Fuck you. Shut up. Until Virginia dies, nothing exists. That's basically what the Houthis are. So you have this whole country, Yemen, with these little kids. Go look up Yemen starving children, and you'll see the like stick people and shit. Because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about the people, the kids. That their deaths actually benefit because you can buy more guns to go after Israel. It's a hostage nation, right? So Yemen, like when Iran dies, when Iran's government dies, Yemen dries up. But not Yemen. The Houthis dry up. So what happens to the Houthis? Nothing. The Houthis stay in power. Because the people are so starved and misaligned and all this other shit, there's no way they could uprise. There's no weapons, infrastructure, food, nothing. They've left it to rot. So you can either let the Houthis continue by trying to get weapons from other places, which will put a blockade on them, which will be a fun reversal because they're trying to stop traffic in the Red Sea, and then we will stop them from existing. But that's once again, so why does it have to be the United States? The United States is the only... Thank you, Albania. Hell yes, thank you. The United States is the only force in the entire world that's capable of doing something like this. There is no other people in the world. This would be like if the Nazis occupied Norway, and you're attacking the Nazis right now, but then the occupied in Norway still exists. You have to go up to Tromsø, and you have to take them out too. Those are still Nazis. Those aren't Norwegians. They're still occupied. Those people will remain occupied until you kill those fucks. And well, why is it? Because Yemen is not a terror. Thank you, Albania. Hell yeah, thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend, for the membership. That's awesome. Yemen is not a piece of shit nation. Yemen is not a piece of shit people. These are people whose history dates back to prehistory. These are people that have some of the most beautiful places to visit. Scotia Island, some of the best honey, some of the best herbs and spices. It's insane. But this is a nation under duress. It's under hostage. The architecture of Yemen is fantastic, but there's fortifications. It's crazy. But they want their government, their only action exists to kill Israel. So you'll see in Yemen a great deal of, cool architecture and stuff like that on the surface. But then if you go out into the lands that are out east a little bit or outside the cities, these people are starving to death. There's mass starvation. There's mass disease. What's up, America? How you doing? And you say, I just want to help these people. Well, getting rid of the Iranian government will do that. I am having a hard time wrapping my head around the people that are actually getting behind Iran's government, like the IRGC Americans, right? Every American will fall. God bless Iran and the IRGC. It's like these people murder children. You are a fucking psychopath. Fuck the IRGC. They're bombing Jews, and they're not bombing Israeli government. They're bombing people in apartment buildings. At least we're trying. We did blow up a school, I believe. That's debated. Thank you, Nana. But at least we're trying. Iran's like, kill all the people. Fuck them. Get their dogs, too. They're haram. It's like, yeah, we don't want that. That's crazy talk. That is like, that's boo-foo. Boo-foo, not the Jew. Am I smoking another joint? Hot breasts?
Right now?
Yeah, I can see your tits. That's all right. Oh, man. Notice to keep them. I'm admiring the right one. Oh, my God. Anyway, she's hot. So, what? Sorry. So now we're, that's Iran. We got a lot going on. There's also bombings. We also have gas prices. Gas prices are down to the low price of $3.89 here in Indiana. Man, I'll tell you what, that is a low price. I thought Joe Biden prices, it was as high as $4.19 a gallon. I'm actually not serious. It should be $1.10 a gallon with all these countries we've been taking over. But we're not. Gas is still high as shit because speculators are raping you financially. Oh, look at this. What is this? Oh, here we go. 7 hours ago, Bakhtiari tribesmen in Iran's Kurdistan province says they're heading to the mountains with rifles to search for the missing F-15 pilots. Okay, so that means I know where the pilot is. I know where the pilot is. I know what province he's in because they just gave it away on that Twitter post. See, loose lips sink ships. That's why you don't make Twitter posts. So the pilot that's missing is in the province that's just east of Iraq called Khuzestan province. So that's where the missing pilot is that we're missing and the United States needs to look for. It's on the it's on the southern Iraq-Iran border of Khuzestan province. Khuzestan province. So here on a Twitter post it says that the tribes in Khuzestan province say they're heading to the mountains of Khuzestan province, that should narrow it down, armed with rifles to search for the missing F-15 pilots, telling the media they're coming to kill them. Don't worry, we'll find them. Now, these are men with Iranian, not Shah Iranian flags. We also have footage right now of helicopters, Black Hawks on the ground, and also bad guys shooting at those helicopters. So they're doing that right now. That is some big shit going on. U.S. helicopter was hit with Iranian projectile during a search operation. And now Iran captured all the American pilots and soldiers. That's not true. So, and then we have Black Hawk helicopter has been downed, possibly. That was 4 hours ago, but that's from an Iranian propaganda channel. So you got to watch out for that dipshit, dumbass, fucking fake bullcrap. You see, that's real fake shit, right? When you breaking news after an hour after announcing the resignation of U.S. Army Chief of Staff, a madman will lead the great USA to ruin. What are we talking about? So the Iranian TV is now announcing that the Donald Trump is basically purging certain people in the military so that they can go ahead. Well, that's fantastic. We'll see what's going on up here. We're waiting for any news from Iran coming out here. There's quite a bit going on. We have, is this Israel being hit? Yeah, we have Israel being hit. I don't speak Hebrew, so I can't give you that information directly. So I'll wait. And this is the breaking news feed that I have. There is footage that is coming out showing a Black Hawk helicopter shot down by the Iranian regime, and one footage shows a man ejecting. So I don't know, man. That is... You're going to have to look that up. Yeah, you're going to have to look that up and see if that is, if that's AI, because the Iranian government is using a lot of AI to inundate with fake videos. This one says U.S. fighter hitted by Iran. Hitted. Somebody actually said that. And then there are missiles on their way to strike Israel civilians. Now, we did hear that, and I'll get back to Iran in a minute, and I'll check out what we're seeing on channels coming up here. I did hear that only about half of Iran's missiles have been blown up. That's much... yeah, the AI horse shit, it's awful, Nana. It is fucking terrible. It makes getting real news out there very difficult. I'm not going to lie. It has been getting so bad. Even my wife, she'll be like, oh, I have a story. I told you that yesterday. I have a story from... this was recalled, and then she'll click on it, and it's from 3 months ago. Then the AI just puts it out as if it was put 5 minutes ago that it happened 3 months ago. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Warning to as people in Arizona and California, 80-mile wide stretch being told to lock their windows now, as thousands in the Southwest as a hazardous plume of air moves. More than 200,000 people live in the affected zone. Microscopic particles or toxic compounds or heavy metals by factories and car exhausts are penetrating the lungs of people. And you can see the haze in Yuma County, Arizona. San Luis Rio, Yuma, Arizona, Blythe. Those areas are being told to stay indoors due to heavy metal particulates in the sky. Don't go outside until tomorrow, if possible. That's happening in the Yuma and southern central Arizona, out by California border, all that bullshit region. Urgent recall for 750,000 Costco things. We have nothing from Costco, do we? What the fuck is that?
A farty motorcycle.
Is that what that is? Grindstone blue saute pan sets because of posing risk of burns or impact injuries. Okay. And footage is being released. It's on right now of the A-10 Warthog being hit. Artemis 2 video fuels theories of Artemis 2 video fuels theories that the Apollo moon landing was fake. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theory with this. Take this with a grain of salt. A video of the Artemis 2 crew discussing the moon months before this week's historic launch has fueled online conspiracy theories that the Apollo missions were fucked up. A short clip of Commander Reed Wiseman is making waves on social media where he says, this is the first time we're going to see humans to the moon, and at the same time have humans in low Earth orbit. Now, I saw that. I saw that clip. That's interesting. Recall is finally issued for cheese products after multiple people are hospitalized with life-threatening illness. Raw cheese is linked to E. coli, have sickened 9 people and hospitalized 3, and have now been recalled. Health officials first issued an alert over the products on March 15th, but the manufacturer denied the claim. Now, nearly 3 weeks later, the company has finally issued a recall, but not for all of the suspected products. The manufacturer, Raw Farm, said it was recalling some of its cheeses under protest and that it contested the link between its products and the E. coli outbreak. Of 7 sick patients, 5 had consumed the raw cheese, 2 had consumed its milk. Well, I'd say you probably caused it. The recall is for the brand's cheddar cheese sold either in a block or shredded form. It includes the lightly salted or jalapeno cheddar, which is sold in either 8 or 16 or 80-ounce portions of cheese. Sickness linked to these products have been reported in California, Florida, and Texas. Grocery stores have already pulled it from the shelf. I could make a video on that. I'll probably do, because I don't like doing single recalls. They don't get views. I don't know what the fuck happened. They used to get 1 million views. Maybe I just don't have the fighting spirit anymore, lads. Maybe that's what the fuck it is. Fucking cunts. Oldest person in the world dies at the age of 125.
Years ago, the oldest person in the world died at 114.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I guess they're finding old people in the woodwork. Sus, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny shit. A French vessel becomes the first. Okay, so listen to what we're dealing with if we don't stop Iran. Listen to this. A French ship. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Frog. A French ship becomes the first Western vessel allowed through the Straits of Hormuz since the start of Iran's war, after Macron blasts Trump for strategy and inelegant remarks about his wife. And we had gained 178,000 jobs for March. The numbers we were figuring were 60,000. We gained 178,000. We lost 60,000 due to AI. Hold on, hold that thought. I'm getting a drink. Stay right here. Giles. Please. Please. Before it gets cold. Okay, so tonight I'm drinking horchata. Hojika, not horchata. Green tea. I guess it'll be, you have to spend all day just getting your content out. In spurts. That is some good shit right there. This company right here, Edoin, I started drinking this when I was in Australia, and they have like 8 of these types of flavors, and damn, those are some great. Even my wife has bought me whole cases of them for my birthday, haven't you? Excuse me. Ugh. Amid fears that the United States may pull out of the war, families of condemned activists beg the world not to look the other way. Just remember that. You have people that are depending on us. Oh, the Shroud of Turin discovery places the burial. Oh. So it is Easter. Let's talk about something like this. And I do have to make a video on other pages because there's a couple of stories of the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is widely considered the most studied, debated, and controversial relic in human history. By the way, the Shroud of Turin is real, and I have many reasons to believe that. They found pollen that came from Israel in 33 AD on the Shroud of Turin. They found blood that's got an extra chromosome, if I recall. They found energy signatures. The shroud itself is made from it's like linen or whatever it is from the region. And so you literally have people saying, well, what? Yeah, the artist, he got real blood. He got real blood, and then he used real pollen, and then they made it. And they went all the way to Israel in the 1500s to get it. And I'm like, you're dumb as shit. I should, absolutely. That would be good. An Easter live stream. Yuntu. You're hot. Anyway. So, and it even says here, pollen from the, okay, so listen to this. Pollen from Middle Eastern plant species were found in the dust samples of the Shroud of Turin. Among them were plants that only grow in the southern Israel, western Jordan, and the Sinai. Dust from the feet area of the shroud contained specific calcium carbonate from travertine, argonate limestone, similar to the dust that came from the tomb in Jerusalem. He said the remaining pollen species traced the shroud's journey over the past 2,000 years, suggesting that the Shroud of Turin originated in Jerusalem before traveling to Europe and its current home in Italy. We know Jesus is crucified. It's best established fact of the ancient world on April 3rd, AD 33. So based on the fact of an earthquake corresponding with an eclipse, I believe it is, in the day, and where this is. So it's going to be April 3rd, 33 AD is Jesus' death. The date of the crucifixion is based on biblical accounts stating that Jesus died during the Passover, and the following day was the Sabbath or Saturday, because historical records show that Pontius Pilate, the governor of Rome, a Roman governor who sentenced Jesus to death, ruled Judea from 26 to 36 AD. They found that Passover fell on a Friday, only on April 7th, AD 30, and April 3rd, AD 33. Now considered the only two dates that Jesus could have been crucified on. So Jesus was either crucified April 7th, AD 30, or April 3rd, AD 33. The pollen, which only blooms at Passover in Judea, springtime, along with travertine limestone on the shroud, leaves it beyond all doubt that the shroud is authentic. I believe this based on the evidence because I am not irrational. However, skeptics continue to point to earlier radiocarbon dating that put the fabric between 1260 and 1390. Funny that these guys can get an exact date, but radiocarbon dating gives 100 and what? Or fucking 80-year difference. So hold on a second. So you're telling me that these guys, based on what we're seeing here, because I know pollen can be dated, I know that for a fact, can get an exact date of when Jesus was crucified. But then the people saying it's not real, well, it's sometime between 1280 and 1390. Oh, by the way, there was a fire in the 1500s. Does anybody know why that would be important when it comes to radiocarbon dating? Does anybody understand why the unprotected shroud being affected by a fire would bother radiocarbon dating? Does anybody? So I did go to college for anthropology. There's 15 different kinds of dating, and all of them, there's argon, phosphorus, there's carbon dating, all this type of shit, sodium dating. They all have different timelines. Some of them are more specific than others. The problem with radiocarbon dating is it gives you a wonderful date perspective, except if you add carbon to what you're dating. So if you take a piece of wood right? And you say, oh, okay, the piece of wood, I can date that to 500 years ago. But the piece of wood was burned in a fire, it will fuck the dating of it up because the fire added carbon, it changed the carbons to change the structure. It added carbon because of the burning, so it dates it wrong. So if there was a fire with the Shroud of Turin, which there was in the 1500s, the smoke, the carbon smoke, if it got into it, it will add that. So if you take a piece of the cloth and you radiocarbon date a piece of cloth that has added carbon from a fire, it will look fucked up. I am surprised these people that are scientists don't understand that. I understand that, and I only fucking went to got a bachelor's degree. These people are PhDs, and they're like, well, it's the same. It's like, did you account for the fire? Well, it's like, yes, it does add carbon to it. It does add carbon. Yes, absolutely. So, Johnson, the doctor, who earned his PhD, admitted on Sean Ryan's show that he was long conditioned to view the Shroud of Turin as a medieval forgery, belief rooted in a 1988 study. So look at this. This is a study so the initial dating of the Shroud of Turin comes from a 1988 study. We have a 2026 study that is much more sophisticated that says these people are fucked up and people are still holding. I mean, is this like Boomer Day? What are we doing here? Anyway, but that's what it is. 38 types of pollen were linked to plant species in the region surrounding the area where Jesus was crucified. The soil had adaptations of high salt content found near the Dead Sea. According to biblical accounts, Jesus was crucified near Jerusalem, located roughly 13 miles from the northern edge of the Dead Sea. Many of the pollen types have also been identified as microfossils in the sediment taken from the Dead Sea. Lake Genareth, which is also known as the Sea of Galilee. So we have literally multiple proofs of this. Multiple proofs of this. Attempted to do anything about it. What was it?
Talking about how since you've reached out to YouTube about your notifications that your shadow gaming when you're not getting sleep for a while.
Absolutely, yeah. TikTok or YouTube, yeah. So they'll show my videos now, but they shadow ban my live streams. I don't know why that is exactly. Maybe I probably shouldn't have deleted the live stream I had on there. And now all of a sudden it's like lagging for me. Yep, I don't know. Many of the pollen types, anyway, only 17 of the pollen species identified on the cloth are known to grow in France or Italy, regions associated with the shroud and its storage. Every other piece of pollen that was found on the shroud comes from Israel. So it's clearly from Israel, and it was the shroud that covered Jesus' body. And the reason there is an image of Jesus on the shroud is because the actual power that resurrected him fried the image of Jesus onto the fucking shroud. It wasn't someone that painted it on it. It went outward like a nuclear explosion when fucking it vaporizes the people, but the shadows are left. So you guys know what the in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, when the nukes went off, the people were vaporized, but their shadows were vaporized onto the ground. So to this day, go look it up. Go look up Hiroshima shadow people or Hiroshima nuclear shadows. And you'll see like a guy walking his dog, and the shadow of him and his dog are fried into the pavement, and he is gone. Right? Because he was incinerated. He was just, ha! And that was it. That's it. That's what happened. And his shadow, it was so hot that the inverse of color burned into the pavement. Right? Yeah, that's what happened when Jesus was resurrected. It went, there was this power source, and it did something similar onto the shroud. So when he got up, he was, it's the power of God. So it's going to be like a sun, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Not burning it, but have that power. So it'll, and then you'll have that image burned in there forever. If it was a fiddler crab, it would be a fiddler crab burned on the fucking thing. But this case, it was a man. So that's more than likely what Jesus looked like also. And of course, everybody's going to say it's fake. I saw Dr. Blitz once again on TikTok. Oh, I don't believe Jesus is real. And I'm like, okay, well, I just said it in the chat. I said, explain how the Big Bang was animated. Oh, we don't know that. We don't know that. I'm like, oh, I know you don't know that. But it wasn't God. I'm like, okay, that's wonderful. We don't know, but it wasn't God. I'm like, well, okay. So you're telling me you don't know what animated the Big Bang? What caused something to happen? There has to be... Okay, so the laws of physics at its basic form says that nothing will do anything unless an action has an equal or greater force acted upon it. So if you have the entire universe into a singularity, which is what they claim with the Big Bang, which I believe a bang of some sort did happen, you have to have a force equal to or greater than the force of whatever that is, the potential force, to activate, to react it. Right? Thank you, Megan. Isn't that what it is? So like if I have a boulder and it weighs 80,000 pounds and I come up and I kick it as hard as I can, not only is the boulder not going to move, it's not going to be detectable as a move because I don't have the force to act upon that. If I have an 80,000 pound boulder, it will move in an equal power differentiation. If I have a greater force, it will move it along. So if you have, I mean, just by the very laws of physics, I mean, isn't that right? Yeah, so you have a singularity of the universe that explodes into creation of stars and universes and all this, or galaxies, all this other shit. And you say, you ask an atheist scientist or somebody that you say, well, what caused the Big Bang to start? These are the only two things that an atheist scientist will ever admit that they don't have an answer to. Because they will talk in circles all day about how you're a piece of shit because you believe in Jesus and you're not. Tell them this. One, what force caused the Big Bang to activate, to create? And two, what caused human life to animate? There's only, and none of them have an answer. Not one of these fucks can answer any of those. You'll have somebody say the primordial ooze, and all you have to do is say, well, in 1954 or 1956, they did that study and life did not form. They put the primordial ooze into multiple chambers, both rock, metal, glass, water, etc., and they struck it with lightning, like you said, and it didn't animate anything. The primordial ooze did not animate. It did not reconstruct into single-celled organisms. It did nothing at all. It just sat there. Volcanic activity doesn't, chemical fissures in the ground, it produces organic material, but it's already alive, eating the fissures coming out. So it's not actually producing organic material. Just organic material eats it. The chemicals that live, or the life that lives on the side. So if you go in the bottom of the ocean, there's vents that jet up hydrochemicals, whatever, from the ocean. And on the edges of the vents, there's microbial life that lives on that. And some scientists say, well, that's life starting. And no, it's not actually. The local microbial life that's in the area anyway has adapted to eat that. And that's why they live there. It doesn't kill them like it does with other things. So it's like an under cave fish that's adapted with no eyes but can still see, right? Yeah, like the Marianas Trench. It's the other way around. The microbial the bacteria, the microbes, whatever, they don't come from the vents coming up. They're not created by that. There's microbes in the water already. Those microbes gravitate to the area because it's heat. And heat is energy, right? Everything gravitates to light or heat. and they try to stray away from cold and deadness. So in the universe, if you go out to a cold, dead spot where there's no life or activity, that'll push everything away. And then if you have, in many cases, even the great attractor has a great deal of matter going into it, as opposed to the great repulsor that is completely empty nearly. And so when you have microbial life in the ocean, the microbial life will say, well, we can either live in this inhospitable, dark environment, which will surely kill us, or we adapt slowly and surely to the vents at the bottom of the ocean. And then that life flourishes, and then a scientist figured it out and said, look, that's where it started. It's like, no, it was already here. You got it backwards. You got to, what the fuck? Because they're looking for any way to explain away God. That's the only intent. And it doesn't matter how you can explain away God on the earth level. The two things you can never do are explain what animated the Big Bang to what we are now, and explain how life became active. So you can build a body, you can put all the chemicals together and all the tissue together made in a laboratory. You will not start it. There's no way to start it. You can electrocute it, use chemicals on it, chemical reactions, adrenaline, and nothing will start it. If it was already started, it would continue, but nothing will activate it. The power button won't work, right? On the human. About the more dense water they found at the bottom of the ocean. I could definitely see that. There's also different forms of ice. They found a fourth form of matter, right? Where it's a plasma, and they showed it in space, and it like expands like a water, but forms like a solid. It's conductive, but it's like reactive with water. It's a weird fucking thing. Absolutely. Hi, honey. ICE agents arrest the head of Wisconsin's largest mosque with links to Hamas and pro-Palestinian squad member Rashida Tlaib. That's going to get a TikTok story right there. Almost has to. That is what I'm talking about. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has arrested the head of Wisconsin's largest mosque, who previously linked to Democrat Representative Rashida Tlaib and groups allegedly connected to Hamas. Salam Sarsour, wonder if he's related to Linda Sarsour. She's a piece of shit. Was apprehended by the Department of Homeland Security on Monday in a targeted operation in Milwaukee, according to federal fuckbags. Department of Homeland Security said Jordanian national Sarsour is a convicted terrorist who allegedly lied on his green card application when he arrived in the United States 30 years ago. Okay. Sarsour serves as the president of the Islamic Society of Milwaukee and is a highly profile community member and businessman. Daily Mail reported in 2023 that he co-hosted a campaign event for Rashida Tlaib during her 2018 campaign. She won the election and became one of the first 2 Muslim women in Congress. Funny, she's linked to terrorists. Interesting. Tlaib is a Detroit native of a Palestinian heritage. She's been a vocal critic of the Israeli government and came under fire in 2023 when House members attempted to censure her for expressing pro-Palestinian views. Sarsour had previously been accused of raising money for the Holy Land Foundation of Relief and Development, an organization that was raided by federal agents in 2001 for funneling $12 million to Hamas. 5 HLF members were convicted and sentenced to time in federal prison for the scheme. Sarsour was never charged in relation to terror funding. Salam Sarsour is a terrorist convicted of throwing Molotov cocktails at the homes of Israeli armed force members. This illegal alien from Jordan lied on his green card application to gain status in the United States, says Acting Assistant Secretary Lauren Biss in a statement announcing Sarsour's arrest. Interesting. thanks to President Trump and ICE, this is them saying it, this terrorist is out of the American communities, and they continue, the administration will always put the people first, blah, blah, blah. Except for the cost of living. That doesn't matter. Another drop into shine before I get off here, honey? I've only been on for an hour and 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I know. See, you're getting bored with it. You don't have fun with it anymore. You used to have fun, and then the last like 6 streams, you've just been kind of like, meh. I don't even like kind of off. You don't talk. You always talk. You do. You always talk. You used to, no, you used to talk constantly. You'd have your things, and we'd laugh, and it'd just be kind of meh. I don't like the meh. Anyway, I absolutely find it mind-blowing that we went from 9/11. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. So I'll try to do a story on that because that's got some stuff going on there. And damn, that's wild. And Lindsey Buckingham was attacked last week by somebody that threw a liquid on him. I don't know. That's fucked up. He's scared for his life now. Woke up this morning and I remember Lindsey Buckingham was on there. Telephone rang and you wanna chat? Well, sit on down and tell me what up with that. Ooh wee. What up with that? What up with that? No. He said, she said, we said, me said. What up with that? What up with that? Yeah. Cindy? There it is. Thank you, Mabel Cat. It is Easter weekend, that's true. We got to have the political will to keep going. Political will. Renewable resources. Unprecedented, baby. And I've got to get up because I've got to say, ooh wee. What up with that? What up with that? No? What up with that? Yes. Thank you, Albania. Oh, man. Mercy. Welcome to What Up With That. It's gonna. I need to do. I love you. I need a red suit. Red Shoe Diaries. Pope Leo makes his first station, going 14 stations, holding the cross by himself. First time in, 50 years? Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Chameleonaire. I'm going to call you Chameleonaire. Hell yeah. City of Houston deletes X post referring to Good Friday as a spring holiday. White House budget ups defense by $1.5 trillion, or Trump wants $1.5 trillion. Again. Hold on, I got to find it out here. Oh, man. You know, I'm sitting there reading this news here. I love you. And it says, UN security mission in Haiti investigated for sexual abuse. Man, what a surprise. Can you, I mean, what a surprise. I remember when Bill Clinton was down there trying to traffic children. Man, he was being loquacious. He's being vivacious. He's got to be loquacious. Be hellacious. He's got to be a tip-top, don't stop, lollipop. Hallelujah. Ooh wee. What up with that? What up with that? Ooh wee. What up with that? What up with that? He said, she said, we said, me said. What up with that? What up? I said, what up? I said, what up with that? What up with that? What up with that? I got Pac-Man fever, and I got it good, yeah. I love you. Somehow I'm married. Ah, thank you, Megan. Anyway, let's continue with the news. That really was loquacious. God damn it. Oh, mercy my. By the way, Hollywood is starting to collapse. I found this interesting. The amount of jobs available in Hollywood is collapsing. In 2021, there was 18,560 jobs in television. Now there's 6,582. Other was 10,424. That's like grips and shit like that. They're down to 8,300. Commercials, there were 5,319. Now there's 2,700, mostly AI bullshit or TikTok. Oh, garbage. And 3,406 jobs for actors in feature films, now reduced to 1,999. Yes, thank you for the gifts, my friend. And that's what we're doing here. The circle of diversity has taken its toll, and it has ate itself alive. I'm very sorry that Hollywood became the absolute diarrhea factory. I miss going to movies. See, I miss going to movies that don't suck butthole. I have seen lately, like, I wanted to see Hopper. That would have been cute. And there's other movies. There's a Backrooms movie coming up. They actually, if you know anything about Backrooms from TikTok or YouTube over here, that's fucking fantastic. It's like horror shit in and of itself. But they're making a movie out of the Backrooms. By the way, the black guy is the lead, so I'm assuming he's not going to die first in the movie. Nevertheless, it seems like blessed. My fucking will. Nevertheless, what's up, America? How you doing? What's up, gratitude? Did you see Iron Lung? No, I did not. I did. So we did see. What was that? Saw 10, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, we saw a movie after that. Yeah, what was it?
The Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, we saw the Five Nights at Freddy's movies too. Those were good movies. That was funny. I was both of them were okay. See, I know a lot about Five Nights at Freddy's because I have children, and they were young during the big, like when Five Nights at Freddy's was going big. Both of them were in the age of playing Roblox, Five Nights at Freddy's, fucking Fortnite, all that. They didn't play, yeah. And unbeknownst to other people, on TikTok and here on YouTube, which I haven't done it for a while, I used to do gaming. I used to game Minecraft. I used to play. That's where I started all this stupid shit. Now I went to politics. I don't know why. But I used to do Minecraft. I used to do fucking, yeah. I used to do Fortnite, but Fortnite sucked. I liked Jacksepticeye a lot. We played GTA 5 a great deal. What? What? No, Markiplier was not in the first. Markiplier in the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, he wasn't in that. He was at the studio. He wasn't in the second one either. There's supposed to be 4 of them, if I recall. And so I think he's going to be in one. The one guy was, I can't remember what the guy's name was that was in the first one. There's been 3 YouTubers so far in Five Nights at Freddy's movies. I think one guy was the waiter in the first movie, and the other 2 died. So it's like, hats off to you, brothers. But yeah, we used to just live stream Minecraft. I had this, like, he follows me on Twitter now. He's probably 22 years old now. But I remember Trick Sticks. Like, I was playing Minecraft. I was live streaming games. And this fucking kid came into my live stream. And he was like, I don't know what I was playing. And he was like, have you ever played Minecraft? I'm like, no. And he's like, you should play Minecraft. I'm like, okay. So we bought Minecraft years ago. Now I tried Twitch for a minute. Dude, Twitch is like, oh man. Like Twitch is way worse. Like, I don't know. I kind of want to do gaming on TikTok again, but I don't have a page for it. Like I have a well, it's not demonetized. It's never monetized page here on YouTube. It's called Wu Taiwan Nostalgia. That's got 263,000 followers, and it was never monetized because I always put up copywritten shit. So but me and my wife deleted all the shit. We did it. Well, you did 99.98% of it. You did all of it because I was like, well, I'd like to try to get monetized with it. I used to put up Nickelodeon and Disney bumpers. Like I would, and I might do it again. Like I don't think I have any stretch to even get monetized on it. And I do TikTok, I do this. I don't think I have time to do a gaming channel. But all the pieces are there. I've got the people set up But the people that I have that follow me on that page, they don't want to see gaming. They don't want to see a 40-year-old man do gaming. They want to see Disney Junior and Nickelodeon and horse shit like that. So as I haven't put up any videos up there in a long time, I've been losing subscribers, but I don't. What am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Put up raw Nickelodeon content? You can't put up that. So I used to play GTA 5 all the time. I went to TikTok. I got about 30,000 followers. Before they banned me, then I came back and got about 70. Then they banned me, or 50, and they banned me. Then I got 120 or 37. They banned me. Then 80. Then they banned me. Then 330,000. Then they banned me. Then I'm up to 60, whatever now. And it's always some bullshit. Dude, I would love to, man. I've got all the shit. I still have headphones. I've got all that. I've got the fucking ring cam. I got the whole 9 yards. I've got an okay setup on my PC. It does most gaming. When I first tried this, the thing is though, is the algorithm on this thing is so fucking rough. And like all my YouTube success I had on the other channel, like I have a play button. Like, I don't know if you've seen it. I've got a play button right back there. But all the success I had from back in the day, it's totally different now. So, like, the titles, like, my titles from back in the day don't work. The thumbnails don't work. I don't even know if you need tags on anymore. Do you even need tags? Descriptions? I don't know how to write a fucking modern description. They've changed the algorithm so much since 2019. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, it is fucking broke as shit. And, like, I know if you delete content, it sends it to zero. Like, the metrics, I just kind of miss the old days of it. And I'll be say, well, we're making a smarter AI. You're not searching for the content. You're pulling it in. I'm like, yeah, I get that, Todd Burpee. I get it. I know what you're trying to do with it. That's fine. I just don't like that way of. I like content served to me. I don't want to discover it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about curated content. That's a different story. I don't want you to curate content to me. I want to search a term, and I want anything relating to that term to show up by view count, by thumbs up or thumbs down, right? Fucking, I don't give a shit about how a person watches. Well, if a person watches 47% of that, and this one's got 62% watch, and it's like, that is irrelevant to me, the viewer. Okay? I don't give a shit. Just because a video might have more engagement and watch time doesn't mean it's better. It just means that maybe somebody has bots that are just leaving it on all day. And it's like, well, the algorithm sees that it has 800,000 views, all 100%. Like, shouldn't that, like, be a red flag for you? Like, you're going to have variable metrics from 130 to 200%, 500%, all the way down to fucking 2% on watch time. And the higher those so, like, why would you do? I mean, it's just my thoughts on it. It's too many metrics to make content show up. So back in the day, it was like thumbs up ratio. So, you know, if you had subscribers, thumbs up, and, you know, was it thumbs up, subscribers, comments, basic shit like that. Then they get rid of the thumbs down button because they don't want people to be upset. Well, we don't want you to be upset. It's like, no, if I see a it's like if I'm looking up a video on how to fix my car, and I look up how to fix a taillight on a fucking Yugo, and I go to the video, and it's got 4 thumbs up and 279 thumbs down, I am aware I can skip to the meat of the video and watch you not show me how to do it. You'll go all the way to the end, you'll clickbait it, and then you want to find out, check us out in the next video. One of those things. So I'm going to thumbs down it too, so everybody knows this video is a piece of shit. Okay, let's not watch that because this is garbage. Or if I go on there and it's Jacksepticeye, well, we're all going to thumbs up it. He's going to have, you know, 64,000 thumbs up to 200 thumbs down. That will tell the algorithm this is not diarrhea. Well, we took that metric away. That doesn't really, that's just kind of for show now. I don't want it to be for show. I think it's a valuable metric. It's more valuable than watch time, because watch time, you can have it on and just walk away. Just because a video's on doesn't mean it's being watched. And just because ads are popping up doesn't mean anybody's seeing them. Look at CNN with the airport. Have any of you guys flown before? There should be individual watchers, exactly. Have you guys have flown? You've been to an airport? You go to an airport, there's 300 televisions in an airport, okay? 300, so that'll show up as 300 sources all viewing the exact same thing. It's all on CNN every time. Every airport in America has CNN on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from anywhere between 50 and 600 or 800 televisions per airport. And you're telling me that is quality watch time? Get the fuck out of here. That is a bunch of people that are nervously staring at a screen. They're not even hearing what's going on. Those are people that could give a fuck less about what's going on. It's irrelevant. It's just there for background noise. It's basically the white noise of the airport. Yeah, chances are you won't even be able to hear it. Yeah, it's loud as fuck. Yeah, you'll see a big screen with a talking head from CNN. And you'll see closed caption. You're not watching that shit. The kids are looking out the airport windows. It's just there. And then YouTube and these other people are like, oh, well, look, that's getting 100% watch time. Because it's all, on. It's like, but nobody's actually watching it. But give me the fucking da-da-da-da. What are we doing here? There's 600 people in the airport. Not one of them's watching it. But it's on, so therefore it's good, and it has to be shown. Redonkulous. Redonkulous nonsense. And that's why I can't stand these bullshit metrics like this. You need to reduce the threshold, not grow it. Well, there's so many people, we need to make it harder. No, you need to cycle through content faster. Make more shit show up. When I look at my suggestions on YouTube, it's the same 30 videos every single fucking day. Whether I look something up new or not, it's irrelevant. If I look up a gun, I get every gun short. It doesn't even differentiate what I want. Do I want a rifle? Do I want a fucking pistol? Do I want a revolver? I looked up revolvers, so now all of them are revolvers for the next week. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, if I click on a channel, I want to see the other videos from the channel, but also peppered in there other sources of similar but not exact, right? So if I see Hitcock 45 here on YouTube, and I see him sitting there shooting a rifle, I want to see 8 videos of Hitcock 45 with another gun guy in there with different videos. And then also, like my music choices, I don't want the entire screen. And I don't want to search for it. I want you to serve it to me, but not curated serving. So however YouTube was in like 2018, that was perfect. That was the perfect way to do it, right? What we have now is like I don't even mind that the homepage is smaller. I know they're getting rid of, because it was an obvious move to get out of long form content and get more into shorts. That's an obvious move. That's a no-brainer. But the problem is with YouTube is they don't have the apps together in one. So the YouTube Studio is separate from the YouTube app, right? TikTok is all of them in one. So if you go to TikTok, I can do all that shit. And the snappy, like when I do shorts, the snappiness of it. Like when you go to TikTok, what's up, America? And it's quick. YouTube is more, it's slower with the go on. It's slower. It's got a slower energy about it, right? I don't know how to, it still has a long form feel in a short. You see what I'm saying? So I make it and it comes up as a short, but even making the video, even though it's basically a clone of TikTok, even when I make the video, it feels slower in pace. When I scroll through shorts, it doesn't have the snap with TikTok. It's a slower feed roll. And some people say, well, it's a calmer. But people don't want calmer. They want fucking blah, 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 because they're fucking psychos now. And why are people like that? Because you social media companies made them that way, because you made everybody's attention span less than a goldfish. So, and I know YouTube is probably actually making shorts to probably extend people's attention span, which in the long term would be better. But I don't know, man. It's just, there was a day, and it's not like I'm some nostalgic, even though I am in some cases. But there was a time when shit was just simply better, right? Before 2019, the way the internet worked was simply better. It was just a better feel. It was more fun. There was enjoyment. It was everything. Everything is just, I don't know how to describe it. Because I've been on YouTube. I was on YouTube back in 2009, 2010. I think I started on YouTube in 2009. I deleted that. That was years ago. I used to just put up straight edits of SpongeBob. Fucking insane. Am I right? What's up, bro? Yeah, back in the day, and I know, it was the Wild West. It needs control. Control was the problem. What you only needed to control, porn, violence, and sexual assault or anything harming kids. That's the only things you needed to control. Everything else should have been on limits. All right, I'm dead serious. But you didn't control that. You let that go, and then you started trying to control political speech. And that's like that. No, wrong. That was the wrong move. So instead of trying to control videos of child sexual abuse, you controlled Trump speech you didn't like. That was under Susan Wojcicki, of course. And now you have AI, so there's no putting the shit back in the horse. And the whole time for years, since 2019, and I know I have personal reasons for why I'm pissed off at all this, but I look at all of it and it's just like, have you ever been, how do I describe this? Everybody's in the same crowd with blinders, going in a same pattern. Everybody's going in the same pattern. And everybody's doing the same thing, and it's okay, it's tolerable. But then after 2019, I kind of took a step back and I saw the crowds of people heading towards the social media sites, but then I saw the control sectors of it tightening more and more. And I started seeing who was pushing the gates closed. And I was like, well, surely it's got to be YouTube. And I saw advertisers were the ones pulling the gates closed. You say, well, why were they doing that? Because advertisers, politicians, and media said that Donald Trump's politics should not be monetizable. Okay? So this is the era when they started debanking people and all that other shit. And they were saying anything pro-Trump is hate speech and should not be monetized. Anything, so if I make videos saying Trump is a piece of shit, then you're good. But if you say, well, Trump did pretty good on this, then you're Hitler. And there's no in between. And I'm like, well, there is in between, but you're just saying there's not. And so you started having people that they were doing security, and they were doing what do they call that? A policy for these social media companies that said, oh, well, Donald Trump said this, so therefore it's misinformation, right? And Twitter was the same way. So it's like, well, it's a known fact. Well, it's a known fact, but now it's misinformation. Well, I know you know that, but if you look at it through this, it could be kind of racist. That's misinformation. You're like, well, why are you saying this shit that I know is a fact from when I was like 22 years old and I learned in college? Now, why are you saying that's fake when I had college professors that are smarter than moderators telling me you're wrong? So you're a moderator on a social media platform, and you have, maybe your second year in college. You don't have any education formally yet. And then I'll be a doctor, and I'll be like, well, this is true. Well, no, that language is a little problematic. It's like, it's not problematic, it's true. Well, I don't want it to be true because it's offensive. Well, truth is offensive sometimes. Well, we're going to remove truth that's offensive and replace it with fake that's non-offensive. And then we'll go on to that like it's real. So half of you were like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, that's good. And the other half of you said, this is fucking insane. These people are out of their minds. They're telling you truth is fake and fake is truth. I'm not going to buy into this Mickey Mouse horse shit. Right? You know, like, oh, we're in the land of make-believe. You know, no, we're not. But then they started pushing it. Well, we want it to be, so it is. And then echo chamber, you started kicking out people that were Trump supporters, or even people like Bill Maher. You're not allowed on YouTube. You're allowed to do it real time with an HBO contract, but you're not allowed to say these things or these things. Same with Twitter and all this. And then they got caught working with the president to take down content, which is illegal, by the way. Trump got $25 million from YouTube and other companies, but then they're like, well, we're not liable, but we paid out Trump. So it's my only question of any of this, why were you so fucking mean to people? That's my question. Why did you, and I saw a guy on TikTok on a live stream earlier that was he was calling in Trump supporters to ask why he voted for him. He gave him an answer, then he was saying, you don't want it, fucking your time. He was like screaming at him. And it's like, so you're baiting people to come on to talk to you about why they were hoodwinked by Trump, and then you yell and scream at him like a fucking derelict. Like, you don't have the right to do that. Like, why are you so fucking mean? I'm not mean. I'm telling it like it. No. Your general attitude. Your general fucking attitude is mean, pithy, condescending, rude, downright hateful, and you say that it's strong because you're fighting for progressivism. It's not. That's being a dickhead is not a political position. I know you think, well, I'm going to be mean and snarky and I'm going to tell it how it is. But you're making people mad and hate you. So I would argue that the people that don't vote for Democrats they don't vote for Democrats mostly not because of their policy, but because their attitude is so fucking poor. Right? Like me. I've voted for Democrats before. I've voted for Republicans before. I'm not voting for Democrats until you quit being an asshole. Okay? It doesn't even matter. I already know your policy. You don't have to educate me. You don't have to do research. I've done all of it. So you don't have to, well, don't you know? Yes, all the blibbity blab you're going to vomit out at me, I already know. I know the sources you're reading them from. I've read most of the government sources myself. What do you think I do here? What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not here to blibbity blab about facts we already know one side or another. That's irrelevant. Why are you acting like a fucking cunt? That's what I want to. I don't give a shit about your politics. I don't care about your politics. I don't care how you. Well, Kamala, I don't give a fuck about Kamala Harris right now or Donald Trump. None of that matters to me. I don't care about them at all. I want to know about you. Why are you such a fucking asshole? That's what I want to know. I want an answer. I'm not. No. Your attitude is garbage. You're a horrible person. You treat your fellow man like shit simply because they don't believe in you politically. I cannot even understand religiously. But you're gonna fucking start a fight and act like a fucking Karen because you don't like someone politically. Go suck a dick. What the fuck is wrong with you? Of all the stupid, dumbass, cocksucker bullshit that you could fucking fight a person over, you're gonna fucking run a social media platform on the guise of, if it's Trump, it needs to be removed, and if it's not, it needs to be uplifted. Who the fuck do you think you are? So you're also saying if I'm gay, I deserve to be promoted, and if I am straight, I don't. Is that what we're saying? What if I was black? Is that the same? That doesn't sound to me like the cream rising. That sounds to me like we're picking and choosing. I didn't think we were back to that era. I thought everybody was on social media because it's circumvented Hollywood, right? So back in the day with Hollywood, you would have to have an audition and a go-ahead from someone in the studio, all this type of shit. But going on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, you could get around that. You could be famous without going through them. You know, I'm more famous than these assholes in Hollywood. I was on YouTube. Fuck Hollywood. I don't need Hollywood. I've got YouTube. Hollywood's a piece of shit compared to YouTube. I mean, look at it. YouTube has more television. They have more watch time than fucking television. They've got more. YouTube is the #1 entertainment watch source in the entire planet. The Netflix can't compare. Cable television's in the diarrhea hole. Not even TikTok. YouTube is the primary number one television source, media source, whatever, in the entire world. There is nothing larger. So we don't need this Mickey Mouse horse shit of control and shadow banning and whatever the fuck. It's irrelevant at this point. First of all, Donald Trump can't run again. Okay? So to anybody out there that's a moderator or an employee or whatever, Trump can't run again, so it's irrelevant what people say. You can support him till the cows come home. Right now, you're watching a ticking clock, okay? So stop with the snarky, shitty, sarcastic asshole attitude. Drop that bullshit and fucking start being civil to people again. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be in political power. That's a fact. Well, politics is nasty. Yes, to assholes it is. Nobody has to be like that. How did it come there? Well, there was a fight between Trump and his people and you people. And that's what it was. And nobody could iron it out. Nobody wanted to compromise because everybody had a political OCD mental illness. And now we're in this fucking room. And when Donald Trump finally leaves office, some of you are going to go into hiding for months because you won't know how to live without yelling at him. If it wasn't for Trump, if it wasn't for Trump, if it wasn't for Trump, you'll be saying that 4 years after. You'll be saying that when the next Democrat president is leaving office. So when Trump leaves office and a Democrat wins, after the Democrat's out of office and another election cycle comes, you'll still be sitting there. Well, if it wasn't for Trump, it's like, no, look, the derangement, and it's not derangement syndrome or whatever, it's political obsessive compulsive disorder. It's a form of OCD that permeates into politics. It's the same thing as if you go out, you have to touch a doorknob, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can open it. I gotta hate Trump, gotta hate Trump, gotta hate Trump. Now we can move on. It's a political OCD. Because it's been going on for so long. Some of you will physically and mentally collapse when Trump leaves. Not his followers. His followers won't collapse. They might go crying because Democrats will win. But the Democrats, some of you will collapse mentally when Trump leaves office because you won't have an outlet for your hatred anymore. And when you don't have an outlet for your hatred, you'll start taking it out on, well, were you a Trump supporter? Then you're the one. And you'll be doing that transference bullshit. Right, where you're going to take your anger and you'll transfer it to something that doesn't, it's irrelevant. Like, somebody, punished you at work, so you come home and kick the dog, right? The dog's, oh, hi, master's home. You kick him in the fucking ribs or whatever because you got chewed out at work and the wife called you a fucking asshole, right? That's transference. That's why you don't do that shit. That's why you got to control your fucking emotions. Anyway, let's move on and get out of here. Gas price national average $4.08 a gallon. Indiana between $3.94 and $4.23 a gallon. Most all the West Coast is between $4.23 and $5.89 a gallon. On average, with Hawaii having the highest price under California. That's where we are with that. So hope you like those gas prices. Those will probably be going up. I'm assuming. Oil prices are now at $112. So oil prices went up as high as $113, down to down to $106. and then back to 112.06. So it's looking like oil prices are going to remain stubbornly high as long as the Iran war is continuing. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, follow me on TikTok, Sup America and Sup America 2. Don't follow the fake accounts, just those two. One has 68,000 give or take, and one has 87,000 give or take. All the other ones are fake. Fuck those pieces of shit. TikTok doesn't care. They're garbage. Whatever. YouTube, subscribe here. If you do anything, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because that is awesome. And watch my videos if possible here on YouTube because it helps the algorithm. By the way, hit the notification button. So the thing to click the bell on the notification. Hell yeah, Cole. I'll be here every night. Hit the notification button, click the bell so it actually works. I make way more videos than 3 a day, so I don't know if it comes up with the 3 note, whatever. I'm not here. But anyway, don't forget to, follow me on Twitter if you want. I never get traction on there, but I also don't try. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, hit the notification button. If you don't like me, go fuck yourself, and we'll be back tomorrow.